I suppose we should shut our door.
Yeah, let's do that. You grab the door for us, boss?
You want me to still be here? Or you want me to...
You can hang wherever you want.
Whatever
you
you
want
wanna
to
do,
watch
man.
You want to watch the magic
I
happen?
would
You can.
love to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab this chair real quick. I would love to see this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we have not so little Pfeiffer hanging with us today. So. Welcome. There we are. We're here.
Yeah,
There you
right
are.
there.
To the North Wright County Today podcast, episode 4. And you'll see it's Nick and I, Nick Schultz, Deerwood Bank, Mike Schomer, editor, founder, former ink-stained wretch, North Wright County Today. All due respect to my my friend Dan Barrero out there, wherever you are. Yeah, we are back again, episode 4. Couple changes on the fly. That's what happens in entertainment, folks. The show must go on, but we are here for episode 4, and we are here for it. Ashley Darkenwald, who was supposed to join us today, cannot join us today. She's got a sick little guy. We totally understand how that goes, having kids of our own.
Yes.
You know, you get to that situation where it's like, are you going to get better? Can I get, hold my schedule? Can I keep doing what I was planning on doing? No, you're not. Okay,
Nope.
Then you get to that point where you're like, no, all right, well, I got to stay home.
No household is immune.
Right. Especially this year. We kind of talked about it last week. There's that quademic going on, and I guess in Texas you can throw the measles in there too. That maybe we won't touch that one, but
I can tell you the flu does not get better with age. I had that 3 weeks ago, and it was significantly worse than I had 10 years ago.
Yeah, we caught you on the rebound of that, and you were able to come in and do, I think that was episode 2.
Yeah.
And so we've seen the flu. We're talking with some of the school folks, and they're seeing COVID back up, which, obviously isn't what COVID was when we first found out about it, but still knocks you on your keister a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're seeing kids and staff miss school with that, and you've got some of the viruses going around, and of course just the normal colds and streps and things like that. So knock on wood, it's avoided my household so far. We've had 1 or 2 days of stomach flu, nothing like the weeks or where I'm hearing people down for 4 or 5 days. But so far dodged most of the tough stuff.
I went to bed Sunday night feeling great. Woke up on Monday morning feeling like someone hit me with a truck. And then Monday through Wednesday in bed, finally made it to the couch on Thursday. That was not fun.
Yeah. No, I don't think a lot of that stuff gets better with age. No, that was one of those where you feel it in you're like, I didn't know I had muscles there that could ache anymore.
That's right.
But yeah, we'll still cover a little bit of ground today. We've got today would be Thursday, February 27th when we're recording this. I usually try to get these posted soon after. Obviously, half the town has left the building today. They're all down in St. Paul.
Yeah, turn out the lights when you leave.
Right, yep. So the wrestling team obviously kicks off action today. They should be opening their first round in the team tournament right now. You'll have the individuals get started tomorrow, and that rolls through Saturday. And if you've ever been there for Saturday for the finals, super special event when they black out the lights and they do the spotlights and stuff like that. St. Michael should have 4 or 5 guys who have a real legitimate shot to doing that. I mean, you're talking the Robidoux and the Westers who have chances at multiple titles now.
Yeah.
Some of them already have multiple titles, so should be a fun event for everybody who was down there. Obviously, St. Michael being the wrestling capital of Minnesota for
Yeah.
a long, long time. We're talking, this was, we've got 10 state champions, so they're going for 11.
Yep.
And this is, I believe they said, the 21st or 22nd straight year STMA has made
Yeah.
the team tournament. And
Unbelievable.
the team tournament hasn't been around that long. So, speaking of, the high school announced 2 finalists for the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And one of them is, speaking of wrestling, Greg Reno,
Yeah.
who is synonymous with wrestling.
Yeah.
If you came to the community late, like I did, Greg Reno was synonymous with cross country.
Yes.
You'd see him on
That's
the
how I
bike,
know him.
and he'd hop out there, and I'm sure your daughter probably ran behind that bike a few times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Greg was kind of wrapping up his wrestling coaching career,
Yeah.
and so he took on the cross country teams, and you'd see Greg on his bike, and then you'd see a stream of yellow and blue
Yeah.
shirts behind
Yeah.
him. But yeah,
And
Greg
then
Reno.
After that, bus driver extraordinaire
Right.
for my son. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, Greg's just been, there for the community for a long, long time. I actually grew up in the community of Sioux Falls, which we've talked about,
Mhm.
and his brother was down in that area.
Oh, no
He
kidding.
coached at Lincoln High School, and also was into track and running and just kind of a institution there. So
Yeah.
it was cool to, in my early days, get to know Greg a little bit and just kind of talk to him about that. But yeah, he's just been one of those great ambassadors.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he's doing it this time around, but in the past has gone down with our friends from KRWC and done the color analyst.
Yes.
With our friend Jeff Lenz has been down there, and a couple other announcers, but I know, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if Jeff's done wrestling, but Greg has been a wrestling
Oh, yeah.
dude. There's another inductee, and I don't know if you can catch me on this. I can't remember who it is into the Hall of Fame.
I know it's not us.
No. I'm on the activities webpage right now, and I don't see it, but I will. I'll update the graphic with that if I can, because
Yeah.
there is another well-deserving. I'll find it. Hall of Fame, but yeah, Greg, obviously wrestling. That'll be this weekend that everybody's talking about. The other one that everybody's talking about, STMA girls basketball
Mm-hmm.
advanced last night.
Nice job, ladies.
They squeaked by Bemidji by something like 24 points. So they will move on, and they will play in the section semifinal
Yep.
this weekend. I believe that'll be against the Storm. So
Mhm.
that would be Sartell. Pardon me, Sabres, Sartell. So that'll be Saturday afternoon at 2. I don't have the location for that one yet, but we'll throw that out on social media. That'll be on the State
Yeah.
High School website later. But you've got Elk River, who also advanced in that section. Unfortunately for our friends up the highway, Monticello hockey team did not fare as well last night. They ran into the defending state champions, which is St. Cloud Cathedral, in the
Yep.
section final. And so
Solid squad there.
yeah, a couple, at least one St. Michael player still on the roster.
Yep.
The Gillespie family has one that goes up there.
Yep.
He's a good player. So, good for St. Cloud Cathedral. Gets a chance to go back to the X, defend their title. A lot of those section finals for boys hockey are this week. A lot of people say it's even better action than some of the state tournament games that you'll see, because some of these sections are so stacked.
Yeah.
And, the Edinas and Wyzetas and
Boy.
Benildes and all those get thrown into the same tournament, and you kind of see that. But the big
Yeah.
one tonight is Rogers will skate against, I'm going to blank on who they're playing. It's unexpected, Champlain Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of Maple Grove. Rogers Maple Grove and Rogers Centennial have kind of been the finals the last couple of years. Champlain Park squeaks in there this year. That'll be tonight. Believe that's at Furniture and Things Arena in Elk River. So that'll be a good one, 7 o'clock tonight. And that's one of the latter section championships in boys hockey. I think the last one is always the one up on the northeast side of the metro where you get your White Bear Lake, Stillwater, Hill Murray group.
Oh, yeah.
See who comes out of that area. So, but that'll be settled. And then next weekend we'll have the best hockey tournament in America.
Absolutely.
Down at the X. So.
Looking forward to the all-hair team.
Yeah, the hockey
every
hair
year.
team, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about it, though. There are not many high school tournaments that you can throw out there that draw national attention.
No,
I mean,
no.
you maybe can think of like Texas football or Indiana basketball, but Minnesota hockey is second to none when it comes to that.
I grew up in Kansas City. We used to visit for spring break. We'd come up to see my grandparents, and every once in a while the hockey tournament was on.
Sure.
I was a Kansas City kid who couldn't skate but wanted to play hockey after watching that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Interesting that your family would come north for spring break.
Yeah,
That's some sort of torture there. But,
Yeah.
I also remember taking trips over here to the cities for spring break. And, the hockey is always just kind of falls along that for other, states and other districts. And it is, I mean, when you've got a tournament that's so captivating that, guys who are legends in the game, like a Gary Thorne or, Mark Parrish, who is obviously a Minnesota product, who come back and participate one way or another. To have Gary call the play-by-play, Lou Nanny, who this will be the first year without him, which will be so strange, but who did the color analyst for decades, literally, and now you have, you think about Lou and just his background and the pivotal role he played in Minnesota hockey from the 1980 Olympic team to Herb Brooks as a coach and his relationship with Lou, and you look at just the prestige and the knowledge that he brought to that hockey tournament. It's insane. And, to have STMA be there a couple, I suppose it's 5-6 years ago now, maybe more than that. And to be a part of it, and for those of us who were there and caught it, I mean, it was special.
Yeah.
It's absolutely special. And, to come from a section like Section 8, which has a Moorhead and a Roseau, and Moorhead with all their runners up and Roseau with a couple championships.
Yeah.
Pretty special to break through and get there at least one time when you're looking at many, many schools who have never been there and have only watched it from afar. So cool for STMA, to be there. And I know a couple of those guys are still skating. Cool for Monticello to be there a couple years ago. In fact, advanced in the winners bracket and made some noise there. But man, it's just a great tournament. So wrestling this weekend, we get our skaters next weekend. I kind of, my sweet spot is always high school sports. So
yeah, I'm gonna miss Lou. Gonna miss hearing "Put the biscuit in the basket."
Yeah, right. That little lift that he's got, and he talked. That little Dino Hornets, they just know how to get it done in the state tournament. That's my Lou Nanny impression. Some people probably email me after that.
Yeah, probably.
We got a couple things going on too. Obviously, next Wednesday for you Catholics out there and for you Christians out there, Ash Wednesday. That's kind of a big one. We'll get some church listings and stuff like that up on the website, so you can get to church that day. But
that means I need to redeem myself from the king cake I made last year. It was real bad because Mardi Gras is the day before.
Oh yeah, Tuesday.
Yep. And I tried to make a king cake, and you usually bake a little baby in there. And if you find it, you have to bring the king cake next year. Is the way we play it. That's the way we play. But I didn't want anybody to choke, so I put a Sour Patch Kid in there. Guess what Sour Patch Kids don't handle well?
I'm guessing it's the heat of the
The
oven.
heat of the oven. Yeah. Poor guy. Couldn't find him.
So you made a king cake with a gooey center.
Yeah. I should have bailed when they didn't have purple sprinkles at the grocery store. It was the first part of the disaster.
Oh, you got to get those at Halloween. They've got the black and
There
the
you
purple.
go.
Yeah, so Mardi Gras Tuesday night, obviously some things going around at some of the local establishments for that. So squeak your last night of celebrating it, and then Wednesday being Ash Wednesday. But that brings us to the Friday after, which means the start of fish fry season.
Yes, sir.
Walleye, you got walleye, you got sunfish, you got catfish, you got any type of
Yeah, there you go. So we got Little Pfeiffer who's joining us in the booth. So that's probably who you overheard. But yeah, he's going through the fish there. We're gonna plug those on the website, but a lot of your restaurants, your Willie's and our friends over at Hen and Hog and things like BK
Yeah, the
Tap House,
American
stuff
Legion.
Like that.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna get to them. They'll do their fish on the menu, but the place to be.
Yeah.
Fridays during Lent in St. Michael Albertville is the Liberty, the American Legion. You've served a couple of them over there.
I served 2 a year for at least 10 years, and then now I'm down to just one with the Rotary. But they serve 350 to 400 some nights.
Right.
Yeah.
Customers.
Customers.
So you're talking 2 fillets per person.
Yeah.
That's probably like 700 pieces of fish.
It's a
And
lot.
I don't want to get too biblical here, but where you're approaching biblical proportions of fish there. But
I can tell you, as the guy who has to run the fish from the kitchen to the buffet, it's a lot of runs. It's a lot of runs.
It's a great community event, though, in the sense that the Liberty kind of turns it over to community organizations like the Rotary. I'm trying to think who else squeezes in there and does some of the.
Yeah, there's a couple of the youth sports teams,
Albertville
girls
Lions.
cross country, Albertville Lions. And it's a great way for those organizations to earn money for their organization. You earn a certain amount by helping with the fish fry. And then if you help out with the meat raffle, you earn even more. And it's 4 hours of work, and it's not hard work. Everybody's in a good mood. And I think several of the organizations that I've worked with over the years have taken thousands to put back into their organizations and their charitable efforts.
So look for those. Those will be coming up, like I said, with Ash Wednesday being next Wednesday. Next Friday will be the kickoff of those, and then you'll have 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's right this year.
Of those, and then we're really we're feeling like right now we're in spring, and obviously that's a dangerous thing when you're going into March. But
I got my polo on. It's I feel like it's spring.
Yeah, we've moved from the zip up, the 3/4 zip.
Yep.
The Eli or Peyton Manning 3/4 zip to the polo, which is cool. And it's I think with the wind chill and everything between last week's show and this week's show, we've probably improved by 60 degrees at least.
My attitude certainly has. See that sun.
Hey, we're going to pop into our first sponsor today, Stellus Health. Dive into the world of Stellus Health with their podcast. So we're here. We're going to talk a little bit later about the podcast we recommend. Obviously, Stellus Health as one of our core sponsors. We recommend their podcast entitled Beyond the Checkup. From the latest medical innovations to everyday health tips, you'll enjoy insightful conversations that go beyond the routine checkup. And make sure you do those, man, because I do mine every year, and there's something different that you should be concerned about almost every year. And this year it was the quadzilla of illnesses out there. So I got my flu shot this year. Not trying to be controversial, just got mine done this year.
Wish I would have got mine.
From the latest medical innovations to everyday health tips, you'll enjoy insightful conversations that go beyond the routine checkup. This team of healthcare providers local healthcare providers at Stellus Health unpack a wide range of topics, including midwifery care, mental health, arthritis, foot care, and more. Tune in and transform the way you think about your health at stellushealth.com/podcast. Your go-to podcast for fresh expert perspectives on health and medicine. Clinics in Buffalo and Monticello with same-day appointments and urgent care too. Like we say, they cover you from head to toe. Stellus Health, neighbors caring for neighbors. And our second one, we're going to pop into Deerwood Bank. What's shaking over at Nick's Bank?
Yeah, we had a fun week. Actually, I was able to go on a tour of Ultra Machining, up in Monticello. Really cool spot. I got to go tour the Supermax Hideout storage facilities.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure you and I should get one of those and put a golf simulator in there. I'm not going to say it's going to help our game.
No.
But should be kind of fun. And then we've worked with a bunch of customers this week and reviewing their accounts and have been able to save them some money, which has been super gratifying for me as a banker and somebody that wants to see my community stay strong. So had a great week there. If you do own a business and don't bank with us, if you bring in 2 months of your analysis statements, we will review those. And if we can't save you money, we will give you a $100 gift card.
That's awesome. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that last week. We've been banking with you for as long as Northright County Today has been around. So it's a great place to do business. It's a local place to do business, conveniently located on Highway 241 in St. Michael, right there at Mel B, the bank building, Deerwood Bank, and deerwoodbank.com.
Free popcorn and cookies on Friday.
On Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tough one. If you give up treats for Lent, you can't grab those cookies. But I don't consider popcorn a treat.
I think salty versus sweet, really, right?
Yeah. That kind of fits in that. Some of you fast between meals. Just grab popcorn for lunch.
Yeah, have popcorn for dinner.
It's a side. You can get your Jersey Mike sandwich and then a side popcorn.
There you go.
We digress just a little bit. One more event to shout out. I want to, for those of you planning weddings, those of you people like me who have found the love of their life, or whether you're on the first time or the second time or third time around, Wedding and Event Fair 2025 in Buffalo at the Remembrance Hall, American Legion. It is that time of year for the wedding events, and this is a local one, and it's pretty cool. Kicks off at 11 a.m. in Buffalo, so check that out. You are on the Economic Development Committee for the City of St. Michael.
I am.
I was just going to pick your brain a little bit. You mentioned the Supermax storage facility.
That's who we did a tour with yesterday.
It's super cool. For those of you that don't know, that is going in the former Indian Motorcycle location.
Actually,
pardon me.
They are down that direction, but behind Boyer.
Yeah, behind Boyer Trucking. Yeah, my bad. Up one exit. So, behind the Boyer Trucking down there. What these are just these phenomenal storage units that are designed for people. Maybe you've got a collectible car.
Correct.
Or they have different sizes. If one you could put a golf simulator in, the other one you could put a couch in.
And it seemed like at least in the sales office and a couple that we saw, they were two-tiered. You'd kind of have your spot that you walked into. You could have a desk for remote work. You could have your car in there, motorcycles, whatever it might be. And then there were stairs up to a loft where there would typically be couches, TVs, video games, and in some cases a fully stocked bar.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
And super cool concept. I mean, I think it's kind of, reflective of the way we're building houses today. We maybe don't have as much storage. A lot of space is needed for bedrooms and entertaining and kitchens and things like that. So storage units are
Mhm.
not only a place to store your stuff, but maybe a place to get away too.
Yep.
Maybe you don't have room for that man cave. You've got 3 kids like me, and 2 of them are driving, so you need all the garage space you
Absolutely.
can get. So man cave's out of the question. Well, you can go over to Supermax.
Yeah.
What else we got coming? As far as economic development, I know True North Car Wash opened this
Yep.
week.
Yeah, I
That
took
was
my
one
car
we
through
kind
there.
of were waiting for, and
Yeah.
I was kind of curious about that too, because you had the one in Otsego and the one in Monticello change ownership. This is a different owner. Gonna stick with that
Yeah.
sort of True North theme.
Yep, exactly. I think I want to say there was one in Buffalo, one in Otsego, and I think there was some ownership where the locations were split. And so this one is owned by the owner that is sticking with the Due North name.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I said True North. It's Due North. My bad.
Yep. Yeah. And I took my car through there Sunday, I think it was, along with like half of town because it was nice out. And
Yeah.
it was a great experience.
The minute the thermometer kind of above 10 degrees there, people
Yeah.
kind of line up for those cars.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where people like to, I don't want to say it, well, snark is probably that they get a little snarky about certain things when they pop up. Pizza places, when you have a lot of something, be like, oh,
Mhm.
great, another one of those. But I'm sorry, man. Go to a car wash on a day like Sunday or Monday when it's, 20 or 30 degrees warmer than it was, and it's this time of year. We need as many as possible.
That's right.
Like build 5 more,
Yeah.
because otherwise, you think you're not bad. You pop into line, and you're like, oh, I got 3 cars in front of me. That means I'm 4th. There's one in there okay,
Yeah.
5. Well, a car wash doesn't take 3 minutes. It's like a 7 to 8,
Right.
9, 10-minute process. All of a sudden, you're looking at your watch. You're like, I've been in this line for 45 minutes. I've, still not in there.
Yeah.
So I'm all for more car washes. Obviously, from what I hear, they're a pretty decent investment, and that's why we're seeing more and more of them.
Yeah.
And people want to keep their cars clean, which I'm all for.
Yeah. Oh, and in the state of Minnesota, I know we don't use the chemicals that we used to use on the roads, but at the end of the day, knocking that stuff off your car is going to make it last longer.
It's still salt.
Yeah.
You can call it brine, you can call it whatever. When it dissolves and it leaves this white film from the front of my car to the back of my car,
Yeah.
windows, it's salt.
Yeah. High sodium content.
What else we got coming? What should we be looking? And we'll have a mutual friend, Steve Bott, join us here for all the things happening in St. Michael. But what else we got? Coming down the road. Obviously, a lot of buildings kind of wrapping up. Including your neighbor over there.
Yeah, I think Steve will be able to speak to this probably more intelligently than I can. But I think what the EDA's role is to promote the development within St. Michael, and hopefully through either networking or making small tweaks in how we approach business to attract businesses into St. Michael. I think we'll see what the industrial side looks like. Right now, it's pretty slow as far as industrial building, but trying to get buildings onto sites to help raise property tax revenue for the city, the school district, the county. That is kind of the EDA's intent.
I would say the last 4 or 5 years, though.
Yeah, it's been great as compared to previous years prior to 5 years from like right now.
Yeah.
So you're just going to see these ups and downs in commercial real estate. That's just it's a somewhat volatile industry.
Cool to see some of the stuff coming on 241 though, and seeing those spaces fill in. I think the ones that people notice the most are obviously Town Center.
Mm-hmm.
Out of St. Michael Town Center, for those that don't know, is the area kind of around City Hall there. Obviously the anchors are Cub Foods and CVS, but who have been there a while. But to see Chipotle and Starbucks move in and open last year, to see the Town Center Dental open there. There's eye care place there as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, just seeing some of that get absorbed that sat vacant for quite some time. It's awesome.
Yeah. You'd kind of drive down 241 and you'd hit the end of the Colonial Mall and you'd look and there'd be that gap.
Yeah.
And that gap has really filled in and with things that people really were hoping for. You know, I mean, if you could ask, say, Michael Albertville parents, what are two things you'd love to see our town get? Chipotle and Starbucks would have been top 5 easily. You know,
I'm just thinking about how often I've used that Chipotle app in the last probably 5 months, you know, which is, it's great because my son is eating less McDonald's and more fresher food. But yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think my son is surviving on that. He's working at Pfeiffer's over there like, heck yeah, man. Don't have to go to Rogers, which we appreciate too. Monticello also getting theirs. I did get a couple questions from residents. What's the holdup on the Starbucks in Monticello? Staffing has been the major one there. They're trying to get a general manager over there. And
well, it's not just that. No one wants to work nowadays. It's like you have the best paying job, but you want to have your target market is young teenagers who are trying to get gas money, trying to get stuff for school, and half these kids are like, yeah, I want to work, but are they going to put in that kind of effort? Because you see nowadays with kids going to school, like as a kid who just graduated, I saw kids flunk out of school because they were either too lazy or they aren't having that motivation to get up and get stuff done. So what I see with the Starbucks in Monticello is you have 6 kids. I've seen it. Like I go there with my sister to get coffee. She loves this strawberry ice mocha.
you're talking the Target one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no one. There's like you go there. There's like one person. Or
One
two.
person.
And that's it. That's their whole like.
I mean, absolutely a clear advantage for St. Michael, right? The fact that we don't have a Target Starbucks here, no Target, no Starbucks. So Starbucks opens and, honest truth, Starbucks opened after Chipotle here as well due to staffing.
Right.
It was a completely flood. You had like you go in there, there's like 14, 15 kids. Like, hey, how are you?
Right.
This is well staffed, and they already have a general manager. They already have a staff manager.
Yeah.
I mean, they're completely staffed. And then you go to Chipotle, same thing. They already have full staff. I'm like, you guys are open for like 7 months now.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you guys are already top notch, already running. And then you go to other places, you're like, well, this sucks.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to do a future episode with you. We're going to get Cam in here. We'll get Colin in here. We'll talk about some of these youth issues.
Yes.
Before we go viral and insult the entire Wright County teenage population. No, but or Nick and I do because those darn kids.
Yeah.
But so for those wondering about the holdup, Panera's open, which is super cool for Monty. Chipotle is close if they're not open already.
Yeah.
And Starbucks is coming, I am told. You look at another community that has seen a bit of a boom in commercial growth. It is Monty. Fleet Farm there, obviously huge, large employer for that community. They do have the industrial row there on Chelsea. And then, on the other side, as you go from Target and you use that, I believe that's 7th Street, a lot of commercial filling in over there as well.
Retail. Yeah.
So they're going to be hurting this year with some of the road construction, and we'll talk about that later.
It's their turn.
Nice as the
it's
weather
their turn, Mike.
As nice as the weather is, I'm not going to talk road construction yet because part of me doesn't want to. We talked about it last week with the roundabout situation that I'm going to be looping through literally on 137 there by the future Costco site. But Monticello is going to be feeling it this year with Highway 25 getting some major work done there. Yeah. And they've already kind of felt it with some of the pre-bridge work. Yeah. But getting across that bridge is going to be
a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to manifest orange barrels yet.
No, we don't want to do that yet. So, let's get to one of our other sponsors here. And, silly me, I forgot to bring up the scripts. So talk amongst yourself. Now, we are going to talk about my friend Peggy Shum because it is tax season.
Yours and mine.
Yeah. And we're about halfway through it. April 15th, obviously, being the deadline for most people to file. I will not be filing before April 15th. I can tell you that my middle name for extension is Mike. So, NWCT fans, it is tax season, but when isn't it if you're a small business owner? We are lucky to have hundreds of small business owners here in the North Drake County today region, and so many, particularly in this economy, want to do business efficiently and effectively. And one of the best ways you can do that is knowing your tax laws, and the best way to do that is to work with a professional like Peggy Shum. NWCT has been with Peggy for nearly a decade, and flat out, she's the best. You want personal service, you got it. You want to drop off and not think about it, which is what I do. Peggy and her team can do that too. Located in St. Michael in Town Center, like we were talking about, Peggy Shum CPA is prepping 2024 taxes now. She's knee-deep in it by now, I'm sure. Get it done by someone who's local, involved, a lifelong STMA resident, and knows how to get it done. For more, visit cpapss.com. That's cpapss.com. Or call up Peggy and her team at 763-497-7817. We are also going to talk about the Selfie Company. We're going to give a nod to them. I tell you what, today's podcast and all of our podcasts are recorded weekly at the Selfie Company in Albertville, located in one of the community's busiest locations behind Jersey Mike's and across the street from Covern's Marketplace. Sam and her team are here for you. With prom just around the corner, how about setting up a fun session in your fashionable formal wear at Selfie so you can remember 2025 prom, rain or shine. They will also be set up, as we've talked about, at prom with their 360 booth, which is sweet. You got a 2026 graduate? Nick does.
I do.
Not too early to get on the docket and take some one-of-a-kind senior pictures, sets with digital backgrounds. You want those? Sam's got it all. Engaged, getting married. Selfie does that too. Check her out at the Selfie Company here in Albertville. All right, man. I said this was going to be short, and we've already been going for half an hour. But
it's as if we both like to talk.
Yeah. I know. People probably tune into these and they're like, Shomer doesn't shut up. Jeez, doesn't he have anybody to talk to? You had a couple things you wanted to dive into today. So
yeah, I was just going to ask, with the warmer weather this week, do you have...
You're really trying to jinx us, right?
I'm just trying to enjoy it while it's here. I really am.
I get so skittish when people start, we were having a meeting the other day, and somebody was like, well, it looks like we're going to get through with no more snow days.
Oh, boy.
I talk about this. My other role is communications specialist for Elk River School District. And so when there's a snow day, that's my voice on the phone. You're the
Elk River Wayne.
I'm the Wayne Hoisted of the Elk River School District. So, people are like, oh, it looks like we're going to get through with another, no snow day year. And I'm just like, be quiet, please. Because that means a 4 a.m. call for me.
Right.
I get up in the morning with a team. It's not just me. And a lot of dedicated people make those decisions. But so I get skittish. But go on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about warm weather.
I'll preface with my snowblower still in the garage.
Right.
Yeah. But I was just curious, with the warmer weather, it gets people thinking about spring. And do you have favorite springtime activities that you like, or springtime traditions?
Pfeiffer's dying over there.
I really
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
So your biggest ones are like going out for a walk with your dog.
Walking dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we went for a walk. Not to interrupt you, but Sunday or Monday, and I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't remember the last time we walked outside.
Yeah.
You know, it had probably been since November or
Yep.
whatever. And,
Probably 3
and
months, 4 months.
Granted, it had gone fast. Like the last 3 months have gone super fast. That's just life with,
Just busy.
you know, high school students and,
Yep.
and starting a podcast and things like that. But yeah, it was super nice. So yeah, walking the dog, absolutely. I mean, so many people were out walking, running, biking the other day. It was great.
The better thing is like you can finally get your skates out, your skater, you can get your skateboard out.
Okay.
Like
Skateboarding.
Old school, like I've seen a couple motorcycles now. I'm like, wow, we are really pushing with
Yeah.
this warm weather.
Yeah.
You know, and you know another big thing is, you know, I'm a trap, so I do trap shooting as a sport, and that's coming up. So now you can come out and grab your gun and go shoot some clay.
Okay. Yep.
You can get some fishing done now.
You
the water
do you
open
do
up.
that right here at Crow
I do.
River Gun Club?
Yep.
Okay. Monticello also has a spot, so big activity there. Good high school teams around here. We'll talk about
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
It's they have there's a lot of good places to go do that. Really the best thing you can do right now since it's been so warm is get out for a good old jog or
Yeah.
good old walk. But I mean that's
Absolutely.
a really big thing. Like,
Fresh air.
oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can't go wrong with it. I went biking the other day and I was like, man, I haven't done this since April.
Yeah.
Like this is nice. And you like get out and you're like 55 degrees. I'm like, oh, I finally take off this 3-layer jacket.
Right.
Yeah.
You have pets.
Oh yeah.
You've got what? One dog for sure. You've got
2 now.
two dogs, right? Okay.
Yeah, April had a emotional reaction to Ella going back to college, so we now have 2 dogs.
2 dogs. You guys have pets. We've got pets, and when you can open those windows, and that's
yeah.
another. You know, you talk about springtime activities, and you know I'm 51, so opening windows. Is
Yeah.
no. But when you open those windows, I mean, and it's been 3 or 4. Don't they just?
Yeah.
It's like a magnet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden the windows open, and they're just like, wait, I forgot about this.
yeah. We've noticed with the dogs, they've been going out in the backyard for kind of sport versus
Right.
utility.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
It's not that go out, come right back
Yes,
in.
sir.
It's like go out, look around. Yeah, it's so. You talk about skateboarding. I have a funny skateboarding story from when I was a kid. You know, Sioux Falls, a little farther south than here, so that snow thaw comes a little earlier. But again, like here, there's always that freak snow, and popped out my skateboard. We're riding around. Did not think about the fact that instead of salt in Sioux Falls, they use sand.
Oh,
So you're riding along, you're going, you get to that first intersection, and your board stops, but
Yeah.
you don't.
You keep going. I have a longboard, like a really nice old school longboard out from California. And when they do a lot of sanding, you're like there'd be thicker piles in these corners. I took a corner and I just went from stopping to like gliding.
Yeah.
And I'm looking behind me like, I mean, I'm a good probably 10 feet from my board. I'm like, so I now know physics.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're like, why do we use sand? Like, who just dumps sand in the road?
Right. Yep.
But
Absolutely.
now with that all gone and the wind and water kind of washed away, now you're like, I can go out and ride now.
Yeah.
Don't need to stop.
Yeah.
Couple rainfalls and all that
Yeah.
that goes away.
I
So.
was so surprised. Like when I came out one night and it's like raining, I'm like, where's this?
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we got rain.
Absolutely.
How about you, Mike?
You know, obviously we're a little premature on the golf thing.
Yeah.
Although I did hear
They came
that,
out of the attic.
Yeah.
that,
They came out of the attic.
that this
Mike.
week, yeah, mine are in the house, and you know, the soapy water is probably going to be hitting the irons at some point to
Oh,
get
yeah.
those things cleaned up. But I did hear that this weekend we will have a few courses local.
Mm-hmm.
Not local. I don't believe we'll see.
Cedar will hopefully by this week or the end of next week.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm thinking next week for Cedar. Just
Probably open to walkers.
Retains a little bit too much water.
Yeah.
But I should check with Riverwood because they do have minus the what is that, the 13th or 14th.
I want to say
hole.
13. I want to say 13. Yeah.
The 14th hole,
Which is just
That
the
one's a little
bog.
low.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely something, I know that they've kind of surveyed the community and they're kind of the golf community over there, and they're trying to find a way to fix that and do more creative things with it. It definitely needs it. Such a great course, but that is kind of one of the drawbacks of playing over there.
Me and my dad one summer we went out there and the mosquitoes were just hounding
Yeah.
people. And
Yeah.
You sit there and you get bit and you're like, well, this is just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. So, back to your question, the golf, obviously, once that's ready to rock. But yeah, just the walks and the runs and the bike outside,
Yeah.
get outside and not have to work out at, I love my friends at Anytime Fitness in Albertville. I'm
Yeah.
a huge fan. But to get outside and do some of that is great. And then, of course, for many a year, it was coaching soccer.
Yeah.
Getting out on those
Man.
fields and working with the kids and being around the sport I love.
Yeah.
Soccer has always been my number one. So
Yeah.
yeah, but hey, it's my podcast. Okay, come on now. Yeah, the door's right there. You're gonna start ripping. You got the wrong audience if you're gonna start ripping on soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer, I mean, you have Messi, Ronaldo, Christopher Crane. I mean, you got some of the best names in soccer. You go to UK, they call it football. You say, oh, soccer, they say football. You're gonna have a whole new mess.
Yeah.
Like, soccer is huge. Don't get me wrong, I love soccer. But you can't tell me you're gonna be over baseball, lacrosse, softball.
Well, I can because I did. How about you?
Yeah, I think the activities, the outdoor activities, is what I look forward to the most. I like to be outside, but I think like from a tradition standpoint, that first outdoor fire in the fire
there you go,
pit,
bonfire time. Yeah.
yeah.
I did not catch a whiff of any last weekend. I
Yeah.
thought maybe we would with some of the. I think this weekend
Yeah,
with the rain this week, and people might be a little more comfortable.
Yep.
Burning some stuff.
yeah. My wife thinks it's super stupid, but it is also super awesome. I have a television outside under the overhang
There you
that
go.
sits by the fire pit, and so there's not much better than having a fire in the fire pit, watching a Twins game, and maybe if you so choose, having a cocktail next to you as well.
I mean, if you're one to imbibe,
That option is available.
go for it.
Yeah.
No Twins yet though, so
No.
more like Timberwolves and Wild right now.
There you go.
How weird is that?
Yeah.
You could sit outside. I mean, obviously, because the basketball and hockey seasons go forever, it's not unprecedented. But to say, tomorrow night's going to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
February 28th,
Yeah.
you could sit out
Have a fire.
with your, pit or your solo stove or whatever you got and have a fire and watch, guys on ice.
Yeah.
that is just weird. Times are changing, I guess. Yeah, absolutely love bonfires. I love them. My fiance does not. And I get it. Like, obviously you and I grew up going to bars in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
And you remember that 5 minutes after you walk into the house and you're just like, oh my, I smell like an ashtray.
Yes.
And, bonfires are kind of the same thing.
They are.
You love it when you're outside and you're working with the flame and you're drinking your beverage of choice.
Yep.
And watching whatever's on the TV, or for me, I listen to the radio. I'm still obviously doing this, and so I'll catch not Herb Carneal anymore, but Corey Provis, whoever's doing the play-by-play there, and tune in. But you wrap up and you put the fire out, because we're smart around here, and go inside, and you're like, oh my God, I need a shower.
Yeah, absolutely. And some days, you shower after you're out at the fire. The next morning, you still have it in your hair.
Yeah. Or if you've got the beard like we do, it just does not leave you. But I will say, one of my other, and I was going to bring this up a little bit earlier. One of my other favorite activities, that we've started doing, and this is an indoor one, but it's a little easier to even just get out when it's nicer out.
Yep.
You know, if you were driving around last weekend, you noticed like, where did all these people come from?
Yeah.
Tuesday nights, St. Michael Theater there does trivia.
Yeah.
That's a blast, man.
I haven't been, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, my fiance's daughter and her boyfriend have done it for weeks on end now. I think they've probably gone for about a year straight, if not more. We're the fly by night kind of guest. We show up and help out when we can, by giving wrong answers. But we went last Tuesday, and it's so obviously 2 days ago by last Tuesday. It's so much fun. So highly recommend it. Shout out to the people who organized that. You can find them online. And then to the people who run the bar and restaurant there who kind of get a nice influx of business there. Fun time.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Do it at least once and see where you stack up against the regulars in the community. So, but yeah, that's another one that's fun. How about what else? You got golf, you got your bonfires.
Yeah. Just anything outdoors.
You still run outside?
Yeah, actually, we sold the bank last year, and for those that know, that's a pretty heavy lift. It's about 18 to 24 months worth of work. And during that time, it's not great for your diet or exercise routine because you're just really busy. And so this year, in an effort to kind of get back to my former self, I'll be running the Maple Grove Half Marathon in May. And so I'm training right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a future podcast discussion right here. How to prep for a marathon when you're over 40.
Yeah. Lots of stretching. That's step one.
The number one injury over the age of 35 is a pulled hamstring. It is the number one injury in the marathon.
Yeah. Having dabbled in a 5K here or there, I unfortunately, pulled a calf muscle, and then later tore my Achilles.
I remember that.
Which was a harbinger of things.
You had your super scooter.
Yeah, yeah. So, which was what led me to CrossFit and then working out now at Anytime Fitness. But that was kind of the end of my running days.
Once you tore the Achilles heel, you cannot run. There's just no way.
No, yeah. Shout out to Mike over at Crossover. PT.
Yeah.
We had a discussion about that too, and when that was one of those things where it's like even a year after doing CrossFit, getting into shape, stuff like that, it was still one of those things where if the workout of the day, the WOD, called for running, he's like, "You're on the rower."
Mm-hmm. Rower or bike.
It is, and another one of those things where it's like the other fun spring tradition. I don't have it anymore because my kids are grown up and things like that. But was setting up the trampoline.
Oh yeah.
The minute the snow was off the ground.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, well, even some days when it was just mud.
Mm-hmm.
You'd throw that membrane back on that trampoline and boom, the kids are gone for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great. Hey, I wanted to watch the North Carolina, Minnesota hockey or North Carolina basketball game anyway, so go jump on the trampoline.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, you throw that out there, and the kids have been dying for that since fall, and you set up that trampoline, and they are gone. So
we had our neighbor had one, and it was the worst storm. I think it was 2021. We had the worst thunderstorm ever. It was like 56 miles an hour. That trampoline picked that sucker up and like rolled it over our fence and then cracked in half. And they're like, "Yeah, we're done." And I'm like, why don't we get one? So we all tied, and so we went to the state fair. Always in the summer in August, always has the rainbow section.
You bet.
Yeah.
Jumbo trampoline, the thing. So me and my sister were like, you know what? Let's go jump on some trampoline. So they had this massive 18 by like 18-foot trampoline. This thing is huge. And we looked at our dad and we're like, can we get he's just jumping up and down. And of course,
I'm sure Sam was like, "Oh, boy."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we all look, and she's like, "Our neighbor's just wrecked. You're expensive." And I'm like, "Can I insist on putting it up, putting it down?"
There you go.
The windbreaker. So we sadly never had one, but we always had a swing set, and that thing was the best thing on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the other
Five
thing.
swings, that's the
Yeah.
best thing you can do.
Yep.
Nowadays.
The minute that snow is gone, you run out and set up those swings and things
for
like
sure.
that. Absolutely. Anyway, the reason I brought up the trampoline, or the thing that not only was I done running, I can't do trampolines anymore.
Oh, jumping.
Yup.
Yeah, you can't. Jumping isn't the worst. Like I could do box jumps and things like
Okay.
that. Carefully, I had to step down. I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't do the jump up,
Yep.
jump down. But the impact, and for those of you who are listening and not watching, I'm compressing my hands. The impact on your tendon, and my tendon is held together by a nice little piece of mesh.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you can pop it.
Oh.
And so
Don't do
was-
that.
Yeah, they were like, "Don't jump on the trampoline anymore." Okay, so that was a bummer for the kids. But
Yeah.
I used to sit on the edge and just kind of watch them.
Yep.
No jumping for me anymore. But yeah, so trampoline definitely falls into that category.
That sounds like a good springtime activity.
All right, what was your other talker?
Oh, the other one.
'Cause we are-
So
We're like almost an hour into this thing
We're
with
doing
no
good.
guests and missing Sam. So I don't know. We may have just found a new way to do our podcast in the
Yeah.
future. Well,
So I was thinking after doing this, this is now episode 4. What are some of my favorite podcasts? And I think that a little bit of your personality peeks out when people find out what you listen to.
Sure.
And so I was going to ask you kind of what are the ones that you like to listen to? What are the ones you don't miss?
yeah, I mean, I'm not consistent with any of them. It'll be if I'm mowing, let's listen to this
Okay.
one, or if
Yeah.
I'm out for a walk and I'm not with Lise, I'll listen to this one. I like KFan too much, so
Okay.
I listen
Yeah.
to them in the KFan in the car, and that probably comes through when I'm doing this. The other one that probably comes through is New Heights. I do like
Yeah.
New Heights. I'm sure there's probably half of the people listening groaning right now because the Kelsey brothers have become. I mean, let's face it, they're
Ubiquitous.
they're overexposed.
Yeah.
But they do a great job and get amazing guests.
Yeah.
And Jason, I feel like, was born to do this.
Okay.
Yeah. He just has a knack for it. I think Trav's kind of the big galoot and super fun guy. I think, and obviously loving his life right now, dating the most popular person in the world. But, and I like the way Trav does the shout out, and I do shout out too.
Mhm.
I think it's just a great way to acknowledge the people who are making things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely New Heights. And the other one is Smartless.
Oh, yeah.
I love those guys. I've always been a Bateman fan.
Mhm.
Probably the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development are some of the funniest TV I've ever
Hilarious.
seen. So Bateman and I'm gonna gap on his name right now. The voice.
Well, you have Sean Haynes.
Sean Haynes, obviously.
he
Yeah.
comes
The
in.
2 from Arrested Development I'm talking about. He was the magician.
I'm gonna blank on his name.
Yeah, we're gapping on his name.
Yeah,
Will
Will
Arnett.
Yeah, Arnett. Yeah.
Also a Saturday Night Live alum. Yeah. And so Will and Jason Bateman, I mean, just, love those 2 on that show. And then, of course, Sean Hayes.
Yeah.
One of the great TV characters of all time.
Yeah.
If you watched Will and Grace back in the
for
day.
sure.
Just fantastic. So, but to see Sean and how different he is from that character.
Yeah.
Super fun. And again, really good at, making fun of themselves, which
Yeah.
I try to do a little bit. Really good at interacting with guests and then just kind of talking about what's going on.
Yeah.
And so Smartless has been up there. If you have not ever watched Smartless and you want to start with one episode in particular, they had David Letterman on, and it is one of the best podcast episodes I've Super good.
I'll have to look that one up.
Letterman is so dry, and
Yeah.
all four of them together are so funny.
Yeah.
The three guys, Will, Sean, and Jason together are
They're
very
great.
funny.
Yeah.
But to throw in Letterman and his dry sense of humor and self-deprecating humor, a great podcast. So
Yeah.
super fun, and there's just, if you've ever listened to Smartless, you know the beginning of the show is like this technological music,
Yeah.
and then just a speak and spell saying Smartless, Smartless, and Letterman pops on after the music comes on and goes, I can tell somebody really worked hard on that intro. And it's and it just goes from there.
Yeah.
So if you want to get into that podcast, please listen to our podcast. But if you want to get into Smartless and listen to people who are actually famous, that is a great one. How about you?
I think the two that stick out for me, the rest is football. It's a soccer-based one out of England.
Yep.
Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer, Micah Richards. They're just silly and so knowledgeable about the game, and they just cover everything that happened over the course of the past week. It's just a ton of fun to listen to. I'm constantly laughing out loud when I'm listening to that one, and I think that's a value add for me. And then secondly, there's one called Football Cliches, where they have what they call the adjudication panel, and they essentially critique soccer announcers on what they said.
Oh God.
And if a soccer announcer says that a team has drawn first blood in the 77th minute,
Right.
that feels a little late in the
For first
game
blood.
for first blood. We would prefer breaking the deadlock
Right.
or something of that nature. So it's very British, very funny.
It's a live version of awful announcing.
Yes,
kind of,
yes.
If you follow that
Yeah.
account on X. Soccer / football podcasts. There's a lot of them out
Yeah.
there. Some great, some not so great. I do the other one that I can't recall the name of it. I do tune in from time to time to Tim Howard and Landon Donovan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just because those are two guys that, I don't want to call them contemporaries because I was never that good, but they played when I, was
when
still
you played.
playing,
Yeah.
and were even still playing when I was coaching, and they forgot as much about the game as I'll know.
Yeah.
Playing where they played, doing what they did. Donovan obviously being a multi-time MLS Cup winner, and Howard playing in the Premier League, and did he ever break through and win a trophy over there?
I don't know that he won a trophy. He was with Everton and Manchester United while he was there. But,
Yeah, and Man U just wasn't what Man U was by the time Tim got there.
Yeah.
So good stuff. You got any podcasts
A few.
that are suitable for airing?
My big one is I like to listen to Joe Rogan. He's just such a phenomenal guy to listen to. He just talks about like the realism of today.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
like, the real world, and he just really brings it to light about like the good, the bad, and the ugly. A couple of football ones.
Rogan, not to stop you, but
No.
Rogan as a podcaster is interesting. Joe Rogan is not the smartest guy in the world, and he'll be the first guy to tell you that.
Yeah.
But like you say, he has a realistic take, right or wrong. Agree or disagree. There probably is no right or wrong in some of it. Maybe there is, but agree or disagree. And what I like about Joe is he'll have anybody on who wants to be on, and when he forms an opinion and it's later proven to be incorrect, he will say, "Dude, I was wrong.
Mhm.
Like, this was totally I was totally off on this." But there's a reason the guy's the number one podcaster in the
world.
in the world, number one or number two, depending on the week. People connect with him, and so that's I don't want to say that's an easy one to point out, But it is because he's made it one. You know, New Heights is up there because they've made it good. You know, they're the number one sports podcast because they talk about what they know about, and that's what I think Rogan kind of does.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you tuned into Rogan.
Yeah, when I have to travel between offices and it's a longer drive, more so in my previous life, it's a good long form podcast to take up a lot of time. Yeah.
And you know, again, there's controversial opinions out there. Either side of the spectrum. I think what happens too often is we often look at the one side looks at the other and is like wrong. And I think what Rogan does is said, well, maybe we should explore this. You know, I'm not a raw milk guy, but he gets on, you know, RFK and they talk about the benefits of raw milk or whatever, and you want to try it, go for it. That isn't going to be me, you know, kind of a thing. So yeah, I just know too much about what's on the end of a cow's udder that I don't want that in my milk.
Yeah, probably not.
I just appreciate the pasteurization process for that reason alone.
There you go.
That and it's a little bit cheaper. So, you know, good for him, good for them. But yeah, well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with Pfeiffer. We'll have you back. Like I said, we'll have Cam and Colin come hang out with us.
Youth is Served, episode
we'll
72.
We'll kick you out. And I'll just kind of moderate the youth panel. And,
oh, boy.
And we'll let them rag on dads and but I think, you know, it'd be fun because I like to know what our youth want out of our community. You know,
absolutely.
I know we like it here. Do they like it here? And if they don't like it here,
right?
You know, because some kids, the first thing they want to do when they graduate, they're like, "I'm gone."
Yeah, boom, gone.
And some kids are like, "Yeah, I like it here. It's cool. We can hang here." And
do you think you'll be able to get like a Gen Z translation subtitle on the video feed?
Maybe I'll just. What Colin is trying to say is every once in a while I'll have to hop in and be the interpreter like Bill Murray on Saturday Night Live. But yeah, we do have some fun shows coming up. We're gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna hit a couple more. Well, our last couple sponsors here, but one last sponsor. So we'll hit them at the very end. But hey, just to give you a look at what's coming up, we've got Steve Bott, who we talked about, city administrator from City of St. Michael. On the 13th, Dr. Leah Colby, who was kind of featured in our first episode, is going to join us. So I'm super excited about that. So what does it mean to be the Minnesota Optometrist of the Year? Does she get like a tiara and a scepter for that? Or
should we get our eyes dilated for that episode? That'd be wild.
For some people, they'd be like, could you get a dentist in there so Shomer shuts up? But we're going to have her join us. Dr. Colby's great just for, you know, being a business owner, the field that she's in, being a part of the community, supporting the community the way that she does. So we're super excited to have her. We're going to have Jeff O'Brien, like I said before, is going to join us to talk about cannabis in Minnesota. That's his newest things. For those who know Jeff O'Brien, he is an attorney, and for the longest time, he was known for his efforts with beer breweries locally, craft
small
beer.
breweries,
small businesses, small breweries, things like that. Well, now Jeff's getting into the cannabis industry. Super fun to catch up with him and talk about what that's going to look like.
Yeah,
here,
I think it'll be very interesting because from my perspective, it's legal in the state of Minnesota, but as a banker, we are federally regulated where it is illegal. And so there's I'll be curious to hear his thoughts on how is that gap going to ever get mended.
Right.
Will there be legalization at the federal level, or what does he see coming?
Yeah, and I mean, it's probably safe to say not with this administration.
I wouldn't think so. Though I also know, governments tend to need things to tax.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
So he's going to join us. Emily and Josh Ligon from the local food shelf
Yep.
that they just kicked off. They're going to be joining us here soon. Another one that I'm super excited that I just booked is Sandy Greninger.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So Sandy is going to catch up with us. Sandy is FYCC, and if you've done any fun local activity, FYCC was probably involved
Yep.
some way or another. So March and April are filling up fast. In May, we're going to catch up with Leroy Burning, I hope. I've got a call out to him and the Albertville Lions to talk about what to expect for this year's
Friendly City
Days, which, dude, it is 3 months away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think about when we started this. It was cold and snowy, and now we're thinking about summer. So super excited about that. So, all right. We're going to wrap up by giving a shout out to Craig Renz at Solutions Counseling. The North Wright County Today podcast has been brought to you by Solutions Counseling in St. Michael. Did you know, and you probably do because you're smart and you're listening to our show, that Solutions Counseling has served 1 in 3 members of the STMA community? That's more like 10,000 men, women, and kids getting help with solutions for their mental health needs, and we think that is awesome. Because mental health should be just like physical health. You got to get those checkups and check-ins. Solutions has 24 professionals to choose from, including individual therapists that will help you with everything from your depression to your anxiety, trauma to marital issues, couples and family things, and play therapists for the kids, even hypnotherapy if you're into it. Right on Main Avenue in St. Michael, Solutions can also offer virtual appointments if that's your thing. Learn more about Craig Renz and his awesome team at getcounseling.org, where you can meet some of the team, take a tour, set up an initial appointment to see what's right for you. That's Solution Counseling, an OG sponsor of North Wright County Today, online at getcounseling.org. Craig is also going to join us here soon.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll be sweet. All right, thanks today for hanging out.
You
Appreciate
bet.
it,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
Another one in the books. We are 4 down and many more to come. Pfeiffer, thanks for hanging out with us. And we will see you next Thursday.